The stream is live. My broadcast testing attempt failed miserably this time for anyone who tunes into this, but I am interested to see how the audio sounds. Nope, I don't want to go into some other stream. Not bode well for me. Sorry, Day 9, as much as I appreciate what you do there, that's not what I want. Of all the people, I clicked on Day 9 for my Android, as far as keeping tabs on the dashboard. A little bit humorous, but let me see how audio level sounds. Tabs on the dashboard. A little bit humorous, but let me see how my audio sounds fine. Don't know about the game sounds, but that's all I'm going to fool around with for now. Hopefully everything sounds good. I haven't changed anything, so you would think it would work well. You would think anyway. So let's get posting, let's get started. One of these days I'll figure out how to work this. But I think my plan is to start fooling around with some of the Eldari finally. And if I get a chance, really dive back into my tentacle type Tyranid fleet. If it's practical or not. Otherwise, what do I have in mind for an Eldar fleet? I really do like the Void Stalker and Auroras. Since the Void Stalker is amazing at poking and just baiting him into a precarious position. Never mind the fact that with the capture change it's almost required to have some kind of battleship. At least so that way you can grab objectives when it's so warranted due to how quickly they capture them. But I am fiddling with the idea of what I want for like cruisers and all that. I did have two falls before they nerfed the cost of these falls, so I don't know, or falls, I just don't know what I want to replace them there. Since it's either torpedoes or hangar bays here, and I can't get a cheaper variant as far as the Eclipse and Vols. Unless I'm willing to go with a single cruiser, which seems odd. I would like to have multiples of them so I don't abuse the dang little rule of just having a weaker Void Stalker and just increasing the range of my flagship. I would like to have a reason to have two cruisers, but the points kind of don't allow for it the best. Hello there, Itrik. I hope I pronounced that properly, but with that said, that's the difficulty I'm having right now. As much as I love the Void Stalker and 4 Roars, don't know how to mix up a bit. My other fleet, my alternate fleet's not really available, and I kind of want multiple cruisers, so it deters me having the extended range and just making this a weaker Void Stalker in all seriousness. There's the problem I'm having right now. I still think I need to brainstorm on that some. But for now, I'm not against going with the Void Stalker for now, for what I said before. The capture speed mechanic kind of encourages some kind of like battle cruiser or at least a battleship to grab things quickly, if a straight up engagement isn't warranted. Otherwise, well, what are the generic upgrades I want? Void Stalker without a doubt wants the micro warp jump. Maelstrom, maybe Disruption Bomb. We'll have to see how it plays out. Yeah, I just don't know how exactly I want to do it just yet. I've only thought on it a little bit, and choices are very limited. I don't think I want to go all Auroras, although I did see like, what, 7 Auroras? It's possible to have 7 Auroras, which may be a little bit too excessive for me. Again, the capture mechanic change makes this a little bit difficult to use it for hit and run and just trying to break up the death balls of worse, just because of how fragile my fleet is. But I'm willing to try that at least, I suppose, at some point. But we'll do one match with the Void Stalker just to get us warmed up. And it's really easy to go with the extended range again on the Void Stalker, even though it's probably not needed. I should play with the Fightbro torpedoes, see how I can get the most out of them. There are definitely no splinter torpedoes, mind you, being able to keep something completely immobile. But there could be merit to denying their stances. And what? Oh wait. Oh, and it denies command abilities too. So does that mean they can't rally? There's something I haven't really I didn't realize that up until now. It's going to be hard to check this because I need to get hit by Fightbro torpedoes to actually know if that's working as it should. There's something I want to play with. Fightbro torpedoes, see if there's merit to this. since everyone of the Eldaris love their torpedoes, so why the hell not? I think there's merit here. Especially since I really do love the Hellborns, it's just going to be a nightmare trying to control a handful of them. Conveniently, my current fleet has them just, what is it, 2 Auroras paired with a Hellborn, so it's kind of easy to get use of a frigate that way. But other than that, it's going to get really overwhelming really quickly if I go with a bunch of light ships and have them in multiple groups. Especially when I start forgetting which group is which. That's going to be a nightmare too when they start zigzagging between each other. I've had that on multiple videos, I'm sure, where I'm confusing which group is which. Because, what is it, I get wedged into a corner, then I have to fly them behind the rest of my fleet. In a big circle maybe, and while the Voidstalker and other ships are kind of distracting, it's going to be something to keep in mind. That's going to be my biggest problem with these kind of high mobility fleets that are at least in separate groups. And again, if the queues are a bit slow there, I can always jump back and forth between 2v2, but that does not seem to be the case here. Oh, yeah, hold fire is going to be incredibly important for the pulsars, don't mind you, just because they will shoot at the first thing that gets in their arc, even if I don't want it to. So it's going to be a little bit simpler to remember that. Necrons. Pulsars are going to be fun here, slowly chipping down and piercing through their armor. But their perfect aim is going to be problematic, unless I get directly behind them. In truth, there is a way I can abuse the Necrons' mobility quite heavily, but it requires me getting behind them more often than not. Since the inertialist drive, they don't have the convenience on choosing which direction they go. So if I attack from behind them, and they try and jump, then I kind of can get behind. What am I trying to say there? If I'm close enough, keep myself hidden, especially... I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I like the idea of trying to abuse the low mobility that the inertia, or the restricted mobility that the inertialist drive has. Since they can't change their heading, so I want to try and keep hitting them on the ass as much as possible, at least with the Auroras. And I have the extended range here, although it heavily encourages me using runic targeting just because of the additional critical hit chance. But let's get ourselves started. I'm going to capture this objective so damn quickly, and they're going to know a battleship's there too. But it does give me some breathing room for my light cruisers, my Auroras and frigates to kind of get wherever I need them to. Do I really want to go on the left? I know they're going to kind of go in this direction. Asteroid belt's a little bit tight there. At least the Vipro torpedoes are going to be useful at denying their stances, which can't be underrated. At least I remembered to change my skills.
Setting sail.
Oh, this looks like 2 tomb ships.
Yes, Commander.
That's what it looks like here. So I have to pay close attention to if... Well, I wish I knew if that was the flagship or not, but at least it tells us it is the 2 tomb ships and a light cruiser.
We move together.
And best of all, I can kind of jump that to an extent. I just got to remember not to Wraithbone shift preemptively, otherwise it gives away my positioning some. And I wish I remembered, paid more attention to the point cost of double tomb ship type of fleet. So that way I know if, well, there should be a frigate of some kind, I believe.
You have seized
there.
A strategic area.
That's kind of all the Voidstalker's gonna do, since it gives my light cruisers the freedom to kind of poke around some. Oh, that's unfortunate.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yes, Commander.
That's a little unfortunate. I wish I had paid attention to that more. But I don't mind if the Voidstalker gets revealed some, although it's a bad spot for the gas cloud, isn't it?
Until the end. We move together. Acknowledged. The void is our home.
Gonna be a little bit awkward since it's a tight squeeze and I hate to avoid taking extra additional damage. But hey, best case scenario, the fighters aren't gonna see me just yet.
We serve.
And they do have a point lead.
New position.
Okay. I heard fighters. All right,
The fates decree.
we'll get you turned around and ready. I just gotta prepare to start spotting, which should be easy enough to do.
Yes,
And I know the
Commander.
light cruiser was around here somewhere.
Swiftly.
Ah, dang it! I messed up on this control some.
The void
I'm thinking
is
Drukari a little bit there.
Yes, Commander.
Now I'm gonna get spotted if I'm not careful here.
Setting sail.
Actually, I don't even need to fire. I just don't get the critical hit chance.
Enemy in our sight. Ride the solar winds.
Now I'm waiting for the
You
inertial
have seized a
inertialess
strategic
drive,
area.
because that was a good hit there.
Until the end.
Damn good starting damage, but I need to start looking for our light cruiser friend too.
We move together.
Unfortunately, the Void Stalker spot, but I could continue to hit this thing hard. That's already like 400 damage. 300 more about.
Commander. Swiftly. Until the end.
And it doesn't work in my favor very well trying to
The
grab the
enemy has
objectives with
seized
these
a
light
strategic
cruisers too.
area.
But it's amazing bait,
We obey.
and I want to get close enough to hit with everything first.
We serve.
At least that way it adds more shock value.
Enemy in our sight. Mend our wounds.
Alright,
Decree.
if you want to try and engage me, but sadly, that's going to hurt a lot of my crew with that said too.
Taking new position.
And that was a mass recall, was it of some kind? I'm going to assume that was a mass recall anyway,
The
so that's
enemy is
unfortunate.
seizing one of your strategic areas.
This is the main issue I dislike with the objective change, mind you.
The enemy has
But-
seized a strategic area.
I think the inertialess drive's still available though.
As the fates decree.
Alright, we got 2 more torpedoes.
Swiftly.
Yeah, that was all a bunch of wasted time
You
there,
have
alas.
seized a strategic area.
Come about with grace. Ride the solar winds.
Now, can we... Okay, everything is moving.
The winds fill.
They're revealed at last, so I gotta make this count quickly, due to micro warp jump being imminent. Or inertialess drive.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic
Oh, and I forgot hold fire, but...
The void.
Can we get the Void Stalker in here now? That wasn't what I want, but okay. Oh yeah, you got a lot of fire assaults, good god.
This is not possible. We move together. We serve. We obey. Until the end.
Sadly, torpedoes are gone there, are spent,
Yes.
and I'm actually hurting myself too.
Setting sail.
That should kill the one tomb ship, and that is actually the flagship, okay.
The enemy has
That was
seized
something
a
I should have paid
strategic
attention
area.
to more, but
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
not my proudest moment, that was pretty abysmal.
We move.
Especially with only 2 charges of torpedoes.
Our deaths must have a purpose.
I was thinking all this time maybe the light cruiser had, and dang it, I want you to keep firing your cursed things.
Come about with grace.
Oh well.
Yes, Commander.
Gotta get the rust off there. And I let that dang Void Stalker get bored abysmally too. I didn't pay attention to range.
Ride the
Yeah, well.
solar winds.
And besides, like I said, there's no reason for me to steal objectives behind them since it takes so damn long. At least with the light cruisers. Though in truth, the Void Stalker should be in the back there, or I could have done a micro warp jump earlier. When I was near the point, maybe. I actually would have been fine just burning a micro warp jump, just taking those 2 points with the Void Stalker, but with the light cruiser, I don't see much point to it. It leaves me so vulnerable. But let's mix up some. I still don't know what I want for the cruiser, mind you. And this gets rid of the one strength that I would have with the Void Stalkers, grabbing objectives. I just have to go in with the mindset of killing the army. I just don't know what I want for a second cruiser, mind you. That's the only alternative I have is star cans here. How many Hellborn can I get? Well, a bit of an awkward amount of points. And the Hemlocks only have 200 health, don't they? So it's almost demanding me to have a cruiser of some kind. I just don't think it's much of a different fleet, though, with that said. If I were to be honest. Since the 5th Aurora is a bit of an oddball, I could go with 2 Auroras and a single Hellborn for 2 groups, and then maybe the last one. It could have the flagship, I suppose. We'll give it another attempt. The big issue, like I said already, is the capture objectives. Hell, the Shroud fleet I've been enjoying so much doesn't really have much place in a fleet anymore unless I can kill their army, which... Think of how silly that sounds. Out all light cruiser fleets' main role should be killing the enemy fleet as opposed to grabbing objectives when they have higher mobility and are a lot more fragile. Especially being a lot more susceptible to critical hits too. Keeping that in mind, the ratio is so much more drastic for a battleship to resist critical hits. So it's going to be a bit awkward, but Chaos, if they go with lances of any kind, I can almost tank the shots really damn well. Still an issue of critical hits when they do eventually do damage, mind you. But we can absorb a lot of the lances really damn well. Now, how do I want to do my fleet here? I think we'll do the same as before. 2 Auroras, Hellborn, and I guess the main fleet with the flagship's going to be a little awkward. This is going to have 111 on it. 1 Hellborn, 1 Aurora, and the Shadow, or the Fall Rider. Which is going to be a little bit odd, but I guess we're going to have to go with it. So I think I grab this 1 point, then just dive bomb the opponent, trying not to be sneaky and clever, since that's not really valid anymore. At least we're trying to get victory. And where do I expect them to deploy? Well, it's straightforward. Somewhere around here to maybe grab the middle point. Then the range is useful for keeping the flagship alive. But what else do I want? My upgrade choices are pretty limited. Since Spear Crystal lenses, or at least Disruption, as I found with my matchup against Drukari in my YouTube video, doesn't actually work in one slight bit. It's supposed to reduce the holofield charge and pause it, which it didn't seem like it did at all, if I were to be honest. I don't have much choice but to go with the extended range in all seriousness. Since I'm limited in other regards, which I guess is okay, since if there was anything that buffed the critical hit chance or damage of these pulsars, they would be ridiculously powerful. And we have 6 ships. So I want to say these are slaughters. I want to say the points kind of line up for it, since I think they can only field like 5 Acrons normally.
Acknowledged.
The enemy has seized
And another
a
thing to note
strategic
that I didn't
area.
really think much on is my limited amount of torpedo
You have seized a
charges,
strategic area.
which is going to really hinder this type of playstyle too if I went with all light cruisers. So I'm getting screwed on all sorts of different fronts trying to mix it up, it feels like.
Commander.
That's what it feels like. Although, Like I said, I really do enjoy the Shroud Fleet for Necron, so I may just play it just out of habit, just to enjoy the experience, and maybe I can get some kills. It's still possible. The main strength of these type of fleets is to encourage splitting up their fleet, though.
Setting sail.
And then jumping in there and killing them bit by bit, due to all the factors I said before. So we'll see if we can fix this.
Setting sail.
Okay, so these are slaughters, are they? Yep, they're slaughters.
Acknowledge. We obey. Acknowledged. Come about with grace.
Good hits there. The one benefit here, since these aren't Drukari, I'm not getting punished for them standing still too much.
We move together as the fates decree. Swiftly.
That may have been a mistake turning so early, but
Yes, Commander.
I could still run. The main thing to note is they can't actually shoot me very well when I'm facing their prow. I just wish I could get more damage on this one here.
Let the winds fill our sails. Swiftly.
Oh, I should have kept you moving. It's going to be the death of me. Actually,
Until the end.
I have a 30% critical hit chance. I'm kind of overlooking that fact some.
We have struck at the enemy ship from within. Ride the solar winds.
There, everything's hitting here. Get them moving. And engines are gone. You know what that means.
Position
Although engines had to get hit at a bad time there.
until the end.
And stances are gone. Which also means, in theory, they should not be able to rally or anything like that.
We obey as the fates decree.
Torpedoes are hitting. Gotta be mindful of the
Yes,
where the rest of the fleet is.
acknowledge.
That should almost kill it. Oh, it actually did kill it.
Unseen, unseen.
Now, this is my next target here. The cruiser's the only odd one because of the fact it can't solid run.
Is our home.
But it can take the hits pretty well. I just gotta keep the pressure up immediately. Otherwise I will start taking damage.
Yes, Commander.
Now, I gotta remember with holding fire that I should actually make good use of it
Acknowledge.
and not screw up at the same time.
Acknowledged.
Although I guess I should go after one that has no shields.
Come about with grace. Swiftly.
And do I have engines prioritized? That would help a lot. The macro cannons I am genuinely afraid of to an extent, but the lances not so much.
Ride the solar wind.
Oh, and apparently I was marked by something too, so there is a frigate with that squad,
Yes, Commander.
which we should be able to kill relatively quick. I just have no gas cloud for my cruiser to
As
get
the
hit in.
fates decree. We obey.
Oh, your generator is completely gone, so you're a nice tempting target. Just gotta be mindful
We move to
that I am in a little bit of trouble. Okay, engine's gone. That changes that.
taking new position. Acknowledged.
Alright, your solar sail's back up. We're unloading everything. Morale's about to break for this one poor thing.
Enemy
And gotta watch what the slaughters are doing.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
acknowledged. We move.
Yep, those may have been bad torpedoes, mind you, but
We serve. Come about with grace.
while dumbfire torpedoes, but some of them are gonna hit really damn well.
Until the end.
And if anything, it turns off their stances for multiples of them. So that's the one benefit there.
Yes, Commander.
I just gotta make sure they're moving for crying out loud. And prioritize weapons while I have an opportunity.
As the fates decree.
So this might suck a bit, but I just don't want to get rammed.
Swiftly.
I'm I'm messing up on my control again there some. But they survived. They're getting heavily boarded, mind you, but they did survive.
The enemy has accumulated 25%.
And now there's an opportunity to kill this one off because of that maneuver. There. That worked out in my favor some, but I still might lose the crew of this one Corsair just due to the sheer boarding that's going on. Good torpedo hits there. Damn good torpedo hits there. They were not intended, but I'll take it. And you're about to lose your crew, so I might as well send you off in a bit of a blaze of glory. Those torpedoes were badly aimed, though. And I think I need to start reorganizing my group some, too. Okay, your crew's finally gone. Start reorganizing the groups. That'll help with this crisis issue I'm having here. So you're Group 1, Group 2 set, you're Group 3, this lone little Aurora. If I can do that consistently and not in a way that confuses me, would be good. But even then, my best efforts are not working the best since my opponent still has a bit of a lead because of the objectives. I should have gone the gas cloud. I forgot you don't have stances or anything. Which is fine, we're likely going to get ourselves another kill. Or can I get this at least... Okay, he's about to jump. It is going to lose his crew, but it should be safe enough, maybe? Not quite, but I can still give it more crew at least. I wasted my pulsar shot there, that was badly timed. Finish it off. Oh, its shields are back up, so that's inconveniently timed. Oh, your crew is gone again. You are the most troublesome Aurora to get into a gas cloud. And your engines are all completely gone too, to an extent.
Yes, Commander. We have lost.
This is not quite over yet, but again, it emphasizes the point I need to kill everything. So, we didn't quite kill the final ship yet.
We move together until the end.
And I have no torpedoes, but I was gonna ram it, but I guess not.
50% of strategic points.
I'm not quite gonna get the ram I want, but I can kill it. Oh, I forgot about my Maelstrom too.
We serve.
Not that I really had Stasis Bomb Racing to synergize with it the best. There. Problem solved. The flagship is probably next on my list. Weapons are all active, but all the weapons are permanently destroyed anyway, so that does me no favors.
Yes, Commander.
They are hitting there, so they're good in that regard for now. I also need to do a better job watching the clock, so that way I know when my pulsars are back up.
Lock weapons on target. Setting sail.
So let's see, engines. Well, I have to select this so I can. Yep, okay, yes, priorities are set.
Ride the solar winds.
And I've been forgetting all my abilities. Even the micro warp jump's been neglected, the poor thing. But I still have a frigate, so that's not an issue at all. And I still have one more torpedo on the cruiser. So this should be a victory. It just looks like, if you look at the score, it's definitely misleading. It looks like I'm on the losing end, and I was... Dang it. I don't know why I boosted there, if I were to be honest. There's not much reason since I have no torpedoes.
You have accumulated 50% of
All that's left is a frigate, so if we kill this now, that victory is ours. Although, the wreckage is in the way for a torpedo salvo. Nope, it's a hit.
Ride the solar winds.
Now, target priority is not going to really help with the pulsars since they're just going to fire at the first thing that gets in their arc when I'm turning around. It doesn't matter about priority. At least for the holding fire. And then I lose the first shot, maybe even 2 shots on a target that may still have full health, if they're on like the far right or on the far left, mind you. So if I don't hold fire, then I'm kind of forced to turn in a specific way, depending on where the crippled ship is. Since after all, there's what, a 45-degree arc? Maybe even less to these pulsars? 10-degree arc even. And as soon as the ship's no longer in the arc, I lose the entire cooldown of the shot of the pulsar if there's not another target already in the arc between shots. It's almost demanded you do hold fire if you want to at least focus fire a target down. But this is what I dislike a little bit with the light cruisers. Since all the time I put into grabbing the objectives, which probably would have been the smarter play, because I don't think my opponent used the boosts as aggressively as he could have against my fleet, but at the same time, I am sort of safe when he chases after me. It's when I get rammed that I'm in trouble due to all the weapons on the broadside. But that's a victory I could be happy with. And just for that, I am feeling the itch to play some more Shroud Fleet. Again, it comes down to I can't really play with the mindset of grabbing objectives and forcing the death ball to spread out, which I call death ball, of course, being the fact that the entire fleet's bunched up together. Ideally, they're normally battle cruisers or battleships, so I can't really force them to spread out to grab objectives anymore. But Lightning Link is still amazing on the damage front. I just try and remember what my upgrades were essentially. It was the Target Matrix or a Structural Analyzer, and where's the Tesseract Crypt. Let's see how this go. Unless you're going with the all-cruisers type of torpedo fleet with Azuriani, I feel like Corsairs are a little more versatile and better in a lot of ways, outside the durability. If you go with all cruisers, you have a ridiculous amount of torpedoes to abuse the fact that the torpedoes do full damage on anything they hit, whereas Corsairs only have 4 torpedoes to all their ships that are armed with it. Azuriani, of course, have 8, which changes that dynamic a lot. Sadly, there's not much reason to go with light cruisers since they only have a single charge to their torpedoes, which, as we saw with my Auroras, they have more shots and basically the same weapon loadout. It's only the durability is the reason you would take the Azuriani in a lot of circumstances outside the torpedoes themselves. I want to love Azuriani. I was looking at their fleet in preparation for Armada 2, and my opponent dropped out. And I was thinking they would be one of my main fleets there. An Eldar fleet that's all about having durability, because when you consider the hollow field, these essentially have 83 armor. It's just a little more random. Only problem, as I said before, this Phoenix is technically just a weaker Void Stalker. It's almost literally, since it has the same kind of spread of weaponry. It has the star cannons for comparison's sake, only 2 pulsars instead of 4, and 2 launch bays as opposed to 4 for the Void Stalker. For only what? Just a little bit over 100 extra points, you could basically double your weaponry. And again, the only caveat, the only difference is a little bit more armor. And hell, you even lose out on health, which arguably balances out for the benefit you're getting. But you cannot deny the power of 8 torpedoes on the cruisers. That's really the only reason you go for the Adriani, at this point anyway. So I'm hoping the Firestorm specifically, and maybe the Phoenix if it's needed, get some much needed tweaks to help encourage some use of them. And I'm struggling to find some appeal for these frigates. I love the concept of them on the tabletop, since these are not really meant to be fighting capital ships, or really other frigates I think. These things are meant to shoot down fighters, bombers, and torpedoes, if I remember the rules correctly. And sadly they do not have that, since here's something you may not realize. For the tabletop version, all the Eldari factions, except for maybe Drukhari, don't even have point defense on any of them, if I'm remembering correctly. They relied almost exclusively on their fighters and those 2 frigates I just showed you, which were designed for shooting down torpedoes and fighters. Or at least they had special rules that made them exceptionally accurate. They had the same kind of accuracy as, say, lances for the tabletop, which you still had to roll for. It's not like guaranteed hit, guaranteed damage, but it was still really just as damn accurate. So I would love to see them get that treatment in some form, since right now they only have 200 health, which, for the same kind of price point as the Corsairs, mind you. So the Hellborn are probably a lot more resilient just because of the extra 200 health in comparison. Never mind the fact they have pulsars as opposed to lances, which makes it so you don't have to wait. You could just dash out safely to an extent. Oh, this is going to be fun. Since we're likely dealing with 5 cruisers. And I don't have any star pulse generators as easy ways to deal with their torpedoes. Best fleet against Necron. Mechanicus are really damn good, and that's mainly because almost everyone goes with 5 Nova cannons. You can massacre a single Necron fleet or Necron ship almost immediately there. You fire them one at a time, mind you. You fire Nova cannons one at a time, waiting for them to use the inertialess drive, and then you fire the rest of them on the ship in a nice big burst if you think you can get away with it. It works exceptionally well. The main reasons why I had my Adeptus match against Necrons on my yesterday video, as it did, was I forgot about reloading, which would help with my cooldown, and I didn't actually have 5 Nova cannons. I had 4 to try and make it a little more well-rounded against, say, like Drukhari Impalers and all that. And we are facing off against Adriani, so this is going to be tricky. My Lightning Link's not going to hit. Scarab Swarm might be good for when I chase them, but I don't have the slightest idea how to best fight this. Outside of maybe Disperse Lightning Arc, to try and get some critical hits in. Do I want to open up with that, though? Since as soon as those torpedoes start hitting me, my ships are immediately dead. Reactive Hull's not going to do much there. Actually, I probably do in case I can disengage, to keep Salt running available. And there we are. I'm already assuming this is 5 cruisers.
Ready to serve.
Yeah, I love the Shroud fleet there. It feels really nice, I gotta say. Although, due to the fact I have no Star Pulse generator to immediately shoot down a handful of these torpedoes that they're lobbing my way, I am likely to have these light cruisers die immediately. But in the games when I was playing with Necron against Adriani, I basically brought their entire fleet down to like a quarter health, a third health basically. That's with the Tomb Ship, mind you, were the matches I've had with Hashuriani. Tomb Ship, 3 Shrouds. I haven't really got to experiment with it with the 5 Shroud fleet, which arguably should potentially, well, it's the same amount of damage since the Tomb Ship has 10 versus the 5 of these lightning arcs. I just have the Star Pulse generator kind of slow down their damage with the torpedoes. And I kind of want to hold fire and maximize my dispersed lightning. Just a little bit, so at least that way I can at least guarantee hitting multiples of them.
Inferior vessels sighted.
I kind of want to destroy weapons, destroy torpedoes. That's my one hope.
Seized a strategic area. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
That was not what I want.
Ready to serve.
The hotkeys changed on me again. Just when I thought I was used to it, I was proven wrong.
Relocate. How may I
Now let's see, they're pulsars, keep that in mind.
on the launch?
Now I'm watching for torpedoes, maybe.
Yes, my liege.
This is a mistake trying to jump with this, but...
What is your command?
And are these... Okay, they have false blessing.
Fully engaged.
I gotta keep that in mind. So they have armor piercing on these things. And right now, I'm not getting the weapon critical hits I don't think that I want.
Boarding success.
Can I at least start killing them off? That helps. That will help a ton in this regard. And increasing critical hit chance is going to be great here too. I already lost 2 of my shrouds, so this is going to suck briefly.
Lost. Adapt protocols to compensate.
And also, I should focus my target to help some maximize my damage. Since apparently my opponent's so confident.
25% of
Oh god,
strategic points.
I was going to say I just about jumped in my Tesseract bolt. It's... Can I at least focus this thing down? I don't have my reconstruction, mind you, so this is going to suck really badly. My flagship's going to be dead before it can fire another round off.
I serve your moving.
Tesseract bolt, yeah. Dang it. Okay, I got the one final hit in that I want.
On the launch.
Now I kind of want to kill the flagship.
Energy to weapons array.
Maybe I shouldn't have changed to out of dispersed lightning arc.
Yes, my liege.
Up, I heard torpedoes, which thankfully, yeah.
Damage registered.
My opponent's not entirely certain on how to get the most here. Or they're so confident again that they're just standing there and just shooting. The flagship's almost dead. I got Doomsight still, but I have nothing left as far as ships.
Vessel lost. Victory probability slipping.
The enemy has accumulated.
I should have kept this
50%
burst lightning arc up,
strategic
or
points.
maybe go. Oh, I was wondering if I had any shots left. Apparently, I only saw like 1 lightning arc,
You
and that
have
was it.
accumulated 25% of strategic points.
I could try killing this. I don't think it's going to do the morale damage needed, though.
Yes, my liege.
I do have dispersed lightning arc, and oh, you're not quite in the 9,000 range. Or never mind, I lost half my sense of range.
Ready to serve. Relocating.
That should have gone a lot worse for me simply because my opponent decided to leave their hollow field not charged after all. And I probably made the mistake of... What is it? Just change out of my dispersed lightning arc, I think. How much weapon critical hits did I even get? Doesn't even look like it gave me anything useful, although the flagship had almost nothing.
Escort silenced. Reconfigure protocols.
I was conveniently dodging torpedoes, mind you, but... I don't know how much of that was my opponent aiming them badly or not. I probably could have got 1 additional Thunderbolt if I thought of it earlier, which probably would have made things a lot better for me. There was no chance for me to get a second Scarab Swarm though, I think. But it did do a good amount of damage. But again, my opponent can easily dash out on the way, so realistically, Scarab Swarm probably would not have been the smartest choice, maybe. Unless I inertialist drive behind them after they jumped away, that is. Well, that was a brutal match for me nonetheless. And I probably should have had the reconstruction available just because it is convenient. I'm gonna try one more there. I don't know how I could have done that better at size 4, just since I don't think, in all honesty, did any of the torpedoes actually hit me at size 4 one that had its engines destroyed, which I couldn't really do a lot about, I think. So, it's not like there was much better I think I could have done there, but my opponent sure as hell could have done more, I want to argue. And I feel like a lot of the issues Necrons have with the Ashuriani is just because now they have that 2 charges of said 8 torpedoes. Since in my games with the tomb ships, that I feel like was the only reason I lost. Like I said, their entire fleet's at like a third health, maybe a quarter of their health because of Dispersed Lightning Arc, but I die because they have additional charges of torpedoes available. It's my feeling anyway. How it's looking for the other matchups, I couldn't tell you too much. Nonetheless, Imperial Navy, I might as well try and grab the objectives, at least early on. But it's like I said before, I probably should commit myself to maybe going in for the killing blow, especially now that I have Lightning Link available to me. Nonetheless, let's get our priorities all set up and see about crippling some ships there. I don't want to get in close, so I'm probably going to stick to reload for a good long while until I can dive bomb something with a damaged engine, since that's what the Lightning Link's for. Basically allow me to kill something that has lost its engine, and then ideally jump out as soon as it dies, if I think I can get away with it. And with the 3-minute cooldown, while I'm waiting for this to recharge, normally it means I grab objectives or just try and harass and poke for the next target. Otherwise, the one plus side with the 1.3 patches, I only really need 2 frigates to get full value of my structural analyzers, so I can easily have 2 of these just roam around and grab objectives for me. It's going to be slow, mind you, but it's something they can actively do. I just gotta be aware of that and mindful of that. So, beacon. I don't think I'm gonna get the objective in time before the beacon actually gets to me, I think, as silly as it may sound. Actually, let me launch a Doom Scythe. I know I'm gonna be giving away my position anyway, with the capturing the objective. And I think these 2 grab this point, and when they're able to, grab the one on the far right.
What is your command?
And actually I want all these shrouds in here too, to kind of speed up the process. And I have to get ready to get the hell out immediately, if I don't want to get revealed.
Initializing motive power.
Nope, I'll actually get it before the objective. Okay, I was wrong. I was thinking more to frigates, I suppose.
Area. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now where are my fighters? They'll reveal them momentarily. So what do I think they are? Grand Cruisers, mostly. Nope, I'm still gonna get revealed, am I? Because it then's gonna deploy after 10 seconds, so don't think I'm gonna get out without having to burn a solid run. Okay. I'm wrong in that regard. So this one's gonna get spotted in a moment.
I serve your glory.
Is it? Ah, both of them got spotted, so that's annoying.
Bringing terror unseen.
Now it gives away where my heading is to an extent.
What is your command?
But let's prioritize engines. I don't think I'm going to be going after the battleship anytime soon, though.
Ready to serve.
It's going to be really hard to cripple it. I almost want to launch my Doom Scythes on one of these two cruisers, because they could actually do some damage. It just remains to be seen if my opponent knows how to deal with said Doom Scythes, although, damn it, I should have probably had them more clumped up better, because the point defense are just going to shoot at these.
You have seized a strategic area.
Alright, let's support each other now. I can hit this really well. I got vision of them, so let's try and get the engine hits. And I think since we're getting really close to engaging maybe with these Grand Cruiser, I'm probably going to leave Silent Run on those two ships that were revealed. Even though it's about to be able to change. Yeah, my opponent sort of knows what they're doing. I am currently doing slow damage, though.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yes, my liege.
And this one is a Vengeance, so a bit of a hybrid ship, and my fighters are doing good damage in this regard. This I can be happy with. Now let's get our line up, our kill zone set up properly, since only two of my light cruisers are currently fighting. And ideally cripple the engines. And the mark to help for good measure now that the shields are gone.
The enemy has seized a strategic
I think I just
area.
bored this thing to death. It's gonna ram me, so... Or it tried to ram me anyway. To little effect.
There will be no escape.
And I can handle lances well enough. Yep, you're pretty much dead and you're just gonna burn. It's looking like.
Swarms have breached the enemy vessel.
And maybe these two frigates can go over
You
here.
have seized a strategic area.
What got critically hit? Oh, weapon destroyed. Okay, I was... Ooh, engine's finally down, but... Can I safely get the lightning link I want? Since I did kind of just jump with my frigates after all. Nope, does not look like it.
As you command.
But... we could probably finish it off with my Doom Scythes, though.
Motive units fully engaged.
Alright, let's disengage.
On the march.
I should have tried boarding more, but... Alright, everything disengaged then. I'm hoping my fighters are going to get shot down. There's too much point defense now.
Moving. I serve your glory.
It is damn crippled though, with that said.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And the battleship's just doing battleship things, which probably the opportunity I'm looking for, honestly. I'm waiting for the inevitable micro-warp jump though. So I think I have a better idea to maybe kill this thing, but I have to do it quick before repairs come up. I'm going to sacrifice one of my jackals to jump in there.
Yes, my liege. I am the dynasty spear.
Just got to make sure I line up properly.
How may I serve? All power to motive units.
That wasn't what I wanted, but
What is your command?
I am hitting something, just not what I wanted.
As you command. Ready to serve. On the march.
Not quite the
The
damage I
enemy has
want.
accumulated 25% of strategic points.
I serve your glory.
I did that poorly, but it was so narrow at that arc too, I probably could have waited. Like I said. And the torpedoes apparently hit me too, so that really stinks.
Initializing motive power.
I can regenerate though.
Adopt.
I shouldn't have to regenerate with everything, mind you, but...
How may I serve?
that thing's all sorts of limping. I'm gonna hold fire for now and see if I can kill it off.
Victory probability slipping. I am the dynasty.
Let myself recharge a bit. Since I just took a big hit.
How may I serve?
And actually, I should send these jackals off to start grabbing multiple points. Although, I don't have the convenience to just win by objectives anyway, alas. Try as I might, I don't have that convenience. Since as we've seen, the battleship can just happily grab everything there and then jump back. And as soon as I reveal myself here, well actually, we'll see if this reveals them. I can't reveal any single source, but I'm seeing the fire. And as you can see, my opponent's just content with seeing the gas cloud, too. Can that kill it off? It's almost dead. One more hit's all I need.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic.
We finally got the kill, but it took an eternity to do it.
Strategic area.
And let's see. My opponent still has a nice lead, and dang it. Well, they're going to take hits, but they're still safe for now, since my opponent's content to just sitting there. And I'll have all my cooldowns back up in a moment. But I need to make the next lightning link hit. Actually, I could just grab this one objective way over here.
The enemy has
am I in range to
50%
recharge everything? Yes, I am. Neutralize this point. Actually, let me get this other one going. I don't know where. Well, it's no longer needed there, so it can help with marking at least. That was not what I wanted. I flew right into that dang beacon. But so far, 3 points are... I have 3 points, and once I take this 4th one, my opponent's going to be forced to try and do something, which... Looking at the map, it looks like they're deciding to go up north, up top. And let's see, you're fully recharged, so I gotta keep that in mind. Can't regenerate any more health on my flagship. Yeah, a bit of a bug here, but I know they're there. And apparently you're all braced for impact too. Alright, time to engage, I suppose. Now, all my time and effort spent neutralizing this point's going to be ruined quickly. But this cruiser it's a tyrant. I can easily do a lot of damage to that.
The enemy has seized.
Gotta get ready for my killing blow. I have maybe 5 minutes to kind of seal the deal, I suppose. And I have one more lightning link for good measure. This time I can't mess it up. Which maybe I save it for the battleship. Actually, I'm okay going into the objective since I'm right behind them. They can't really shoot me at this point. I just want to make sure everything can shoot to maximize the shock value of this attack. Okay, everything is almost in range. There, that's a good start. I think I want to kill this thing now and then go after everything else later with the lightning link. It mutinied, so unless that has a rally, yeah, there's the rally. It is pretty much useless though, I got that going for me. Can I dodge the beacon? I effectively dodged the beacon, so that's pretty good in that regard. Now the question is it going to stop and deploy? This might hurt a bit. This might actually kill the flagship. And I have no jump. I would love to do a lightning link right now, but
75% of strategic points.
nope. Wasn't meant to be.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Moving. Way of death.
Now I still have a bit of boarding, a bit of lightning strike damage.
Motive power.
But now I have no way to regenerate the engines.
Impossible. Cannot comply. Draw point anchors. Inferior vessel sighted.
Time for dispersed lightning arc, I guess, although it's probably too late now, since I'm kind of forced into engagement. This is pretty much over anyway. Since I have no...
Close to victory by
I don't have my
strategic
lightning
points.
link, and my engines are getting destroyed too. Yep, 200 points left for my opponent, so
The vessel.
this is over unless I could kill the entire fleet now.
March.
Hello there, welcome to the stream. Although I don't know which match it was you had against me, mind you, since I don't recognize your Twitch name. But this is over, looks like. The one main strength of the Shroud Fleet is kind of blunted heavily by the capture objective change. It was fun, mind you. I just never got an opportunity to spread them out effectively. Unless I want to jump after the battleship, in which case, micro warp jump would negate that. It's a bit of a shame. You do need a battleship or at least a battle cruiser of some kind to grab the objectives for you, in which case the Karn, I want to say that's its only role I want for it. Until we get into the thick of the battle. But nonetheless, let's jump into Shuriani. I just wish I could think of a different fleet, mind you. With only one charge to these these Wraith ships, it's tricky to use torpedoes on them. Unless I want to rely on pulsars, that would be the exception. As dumb as it is, because the truth of the matter is, why not just take Auroras? That's the honest truth here. And I only got 6 Wraith ships. How expensive are these anyway compared to 172 versus... I might as well just go with the 5 cruisers, I suppose. Yeah, the Auroras are a lot cheaper. Mainly due to the fact they're a lot more fragile, but they have 2 charges of torpedoes, dang it. The Starfalls, oh you want me to use star cannons? Nah, I don't care for las cannons. Hell, everyone hated the mass star cannon, las cannon fleets, which is why they were heavily nerfed way back after the first patch or 2. The main reason being the Spiritstone targeting node used to increase the range of all your ships. Not anymore. That is the result of this, why it only affects the flagship now. I think everyone's really bitter about the star cannon build, I'm afraid to say. Whether it's effective I couldn't tell you, but I like my pulsars more. I just don't like being all cruisers, especially when everyone else is going cruisers. Can I justify Phoenix anyway? But it goes to what I said earlier, why not just have a Void Stalker instead? That's the awkward predicament with the Azuriani right now, if I were to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of what all the Eldari used to do. That's kind of the point. Well, they don't even use reload stance, they use lock-on. They use the target node because that gives you 270 degree arc. You don't use reload because then that denies you your hollow field, since you're constantly flying towards them and risking a ram. The target node was arguably better in that regard. Unless you're behind them, then you can maximize the charge with the or a reload stance with the King Crude batteries. Otherwise, the one thing I do like with all cruisers, at least, I want skills that augments my entire fleet and not just a single one. Ideally. Don't have need for Blessing of All. Bravery could be useful, but what other upgrades is there? Nothing really enhances torpedoes or the pulsars on here. So really they're more utility type effects, like the critical hit maybe. Oh well, we'll give it a try, I guess. Otherwise, I really do enjoy the Aurora's fleet for Corsairs. I'm just struggling trying to figure out to find an Adriani fleet to my liking, since there's only really one main viable fleet to go with. And that's mainly the 5 cruisers, regardless of the variant, mind you. Oh well, it's still gonna be fun though. Eldari are still Eldari, lots of moving around, a lot of diving in, lots of hits and runs, especially with the pulsars. I am interested to see what they do for next balance patch there. If they tone things back a bit, since interestingly enough 1.3 had no actual beta server to test the changes ahead of time. They just went out and launched the entire thing. And as a result, I think it left a little bit of bugs and a lot of patch notes or lots of changes completely oblivious to us until we pointed it out. Since no one really knew about the fighter change until, or at least I didn't see the change on the change logs anyway about the fighters. How they locked the cooldown. I had to read the comments to be aware of that. Which is not a thing you want to do. Comments are normally not the most pleasant of places. Otherwise, since I'm doing a lot of hit and run, do I really want the Wraithbone reinforcement? Stasis Bomb actually would be a good alternative, I think. I think anyway. And to keep things interesting, we're going to spread up the fleet. We're not going to do it the way like all the other Corsair or Eldar Azuriani players do. At least this encourages a little more micromanagement. Just a question if I can focus down the target I want to max best effect. Since these two are not going to benefit from the additional bravery, at least at first. Ooh, and I'm going to have a 40% critical hit chance, I'm just realizing, so that's not too shabby to try and cripple some engines. And the one main weakness of these cruisers, if there's any at all, is the fact they only have a single solar sail. It doesn't even say anything on here, but a lot of Eldari ships have, at least the Corsairs and the Adriani, have multiple different engine components you have to destroy if you want to completely turn off the Wraithbone shift. That's the main benefit. But in the case of these dragon ships, they only have this one single sail. So once the engine's gone once, they lose access to that, which can be a pretty big liability if they get some good critical hits in early.
I stand ready.
Where are my manners? But what are we up against here? 6 ships? I've seen 7 cruisers before, so is it... Okay, 7 cruisers of some kind, I want to say.
I stand ready.
So this will be a little bit awkward. I'm not going to have the convenience of... Let's see which one's the flagship. I'm not going to have the best convenience of focusing down the one I want. But I am going to have an easy time harassing and making their life miserable if I can have these 2 behind them. Or even better, have these 3 behind them.
Raise sail.
Not likely to happen, but yeah, already this is feeling more like a light cruiser fleet than my Shroud
You
fleet.
have seized a strategic area.
With how quickly I'm grabbing the objectives. And these are just 1 tier higher, mind you.
Raise sail.
And it's making... at least making a world of difference.
I walk the mariner's path.
Although to be fair, I didn't really use my shrouds for grabbing objectives. It was the frigates, which may have been a bit of my problem.
How may I serve?
I heard Novacans.
I walk the mariner's path.
I shouldn't have boosted there, that was a bit of a panic response, but it tells us what we're up against.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
We know what we're up against now.
For the ancestors.
Going to be tricky, since the main rule of Novacans is do not use both my movement abilities. Not at the same time like I just did.
Where the winds guide.
I can use Falls Maneuver or a Wraithbone Shift to dodge Novacans, not both.
How may I serve?
Or I'm going to leave myself incredibly vulnerable to getting
Relocating.
really murdered by a series of
Stand ready. As foretold.
Can I get out?
I walk the mariner's path. Relocate.
I want to grab this damn objective at least, so let's at least get one benefit out of this.
You have seized a strategic area.
And they have extended sensors, interesting.
For the craft world.
Okay, so it's not all 7 Dominators, but
We understand.
let's at least identify them.
How may I serve?
We'll worry about identifying them first. And, oh, interesting, they're not all Novacans.
As foretold. I walk.
And I'm already marked. I'm already visible, so that's
You
not a
have
big deal.
seized a strategic area.
And since they don't have torpedoes and they're Grand Cruisers, I'm not really at risk of being murdered so long as they're not boosting. So I don't really need... Oh god. Macro cannons at this range, so it's a different story.
Ancestors. The winds rise.
But I could boost behind them at least.
Where the winds guide.
How many Novacans do they have? That's important to note.
Strategic areas.
How may I serve?
If I can get directly behind them, that makes their life a little bit miserable.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
I stand ready. Raise sail.
And if possible, I want to kill this frigate.
Fire. That cannot be done. The winds rise. Mariners pirouette.
I saw I fired torpedoes, apparently not, stupid me.
I walk the mariners.
And engine's already gone on you, wow.
Vital systems sundered. Holding fire. Where the winds guide.
Kill off this dang frigate, not that it matters anymore.
I stand ready.
It's just a habit at this point, if I were to be honest.
Raise sail.
So repairs done on that.
I walk the
I'm strongest when I'm facing their prow or facing their engines. Ideally, just facing their prow. Now, let's actually fire torpedoes properly this time, please.
as foretold.
Not as much damage as it could be, but
Underway.
you will have all engines prioritized on everything, though.
How may I serve?
Since he just did the full boost charge, or summary execution, which just is what they just did. Or I heard a repair. Never mind. I'm wrong on that fact.
We understand.
Alright, engine's gone on you.
Where the
One Novacan hit I could deal with. You've got one weak link here that now has no engines.
raise sail.
Almost killed it.
The enemy is
But I think
seizing
it's dead
one of
now.
the strategic areas.
We understand.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
No, that's one down. One of the Novacans down at least, so I can rest a little bit easier, not getting massacred from lack of paying attention.
Our wrath. I walk the mariners.
I was hoping to grab objectives, but I guess that's not going to be worth it anymore.
Winds rise.
And I gotta remember to start zigzagging to help dodge these macro cannons better. Because I could just steal these behind them if I'm smart.
Where the winds guide.
Yes, burn more of your combustion gauge. Do it.
As foretold.
Although I'm probably not realistically gonna get this completely. Oh, and I flew into my own stasis bomb, as silly as that may sound. Alright. I have to remember, yeah, again, they can't shoot me from the prow unless it's a Nova cannon. So I'm okay letting this go a little bit.
You have seized a strategic area.
Relocating.
Alright, turn, dodge, evade, minimize the damage.
Holding fire.
And which one of these juicy targets do you want to go after? Hell, I should just boost in there.
Sail.
And just force the issue.
Mariner's pirouette.
Probably could have just waited until they start shooting for a false maneuver to really throw off their aim.
For the craft world.
But we're kind of in good shape regardless. That was some good damage there, and maybe I can hit them some more. Well, not the one Grand Cruiser.
Sail.
But I can grab this one objective though.
You have seized a strategic area.
The winds rise.
Now let's disruption bomb properly. Oh, they're gonna boost, never mind.
Mariner's path. We understand.
Not gonna quite get the objective and hit this thing at the same time, alas.
Where the winds guide. Slake our wrath. How may I serve?
Nope, I messed it up a tiny bit.
Where the winds
But that was damn good damage regardless. I just wish I had prioritized engines.
ancestors.
With that
The
said,
enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points. The enemy is.
I do at least have a lead, so that's good.
Areas.
I didn't realize that I was actually winning on the point game. All I did was just be annoying and kill a single ship.
Seized a strategic area.
I want to hit you, but I'm not gonna get it, am I? It's way too risky to just boost in there.
The winds rise.
Actually, I can hit this one ship. Just gotta make sure all the ships can hit.
Slake our wrath. Raise sail. Mariner's pirouette.
Nope, that was bad. Those torpedoes, however, were not.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic
What the hell?
areas.
My engines died. That was humorous to watch. Yeah. I was watching that thing fly in slow motion, for crying out loud.
How may I serve?
Okay.
We understand. I walk the mariner's path.
9 seconds, although engines are gone again, dang it, even after the repairs.
You have accumulated 50%.
So this ship is a
strategic
bit
points.
relegated to death.
Boarding action has met its
Well, that was an unexpected result. I nearly got myself killed.
How may I serve? Wraithguard strike.
I think I disengage and just wait until the engines recharge in all seriousness.
Stands ready.
I think I condemned this to death. Actually, if it's gonna die, I might as well get one last hurrah with dang engines.
We understand.
I wish I had fired more with the torpedoes or the pulsars, but
The craft world.
The enemy has
One
seized
last
a
hurrah.
strategic area.
because this thing's just a sitting duck now, isn't it?
We understand.
Heh. I just realized I false maneuvered into my other ship, and that was the result.
How may I serve?
So I think that's all my torpedoes there.
I stand ready. The
I could have
winds
just made this...
rise.
Well, the generator's gone. I can't warp out now.
I walk the mariner's path.
Just grab the objective and
Foretold,
actually kill this thing now, I suppose.
world will weep for this loss. Underway.
How close? Okay, engines are back up. That's good. Lost a little bit of my crew, but it's still functional otherwise.
We understand.
How much longer? Okay, we got the
You
point.
have seized a strategic area.
This should be dead. Perfect.
Where the winds guide. Underway.
Now, 3 ships left, one of which has no engines. Can I capitalize on that? Especially, gotta keep my supercharged void shield, so if I'm gonna engage, its shields need to go down.
For the craft.
Or at least bait out a supercharged void
The
shield.
enemy has
That's the other
accumulated
exception.
50% of strategic points.
Where the winds guide. Slake our wrath.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
As foretold. How may I serve?
No torpedoes left there, last, but
Mariners,
I guess that's game. Sadly, they probably were just getting frustrated by this experience. Keep in mind, those pulsars have a ridiculous critical hit chance. It's what? With the rune targeting node, that's like a 30% chance of a critical hit, I think? What is it currently? Oh my. Yeah, it's like 35%. And that's with 3 shots each. So needless to say, if I can get a full salvo of pulsars like what we just saw, it's almost guaranteed to kill an engine on something. So long as it's not a battleship or maybe a grand cruiser. It is ridiculous on how reliable those things can be to just kill what you want. Whether it be destroying the engines, destroying the deck, or even destroying weapons maybe. It was fun though. I just don't think my opponent would have said the same thing, mind you. But nonetheless, I was thinking of playing around with some merchant fleet. I'm just, let's see, trying to remember which fleet I want. I think I just want to experiment more with the fighters to see how the merchant fleet feels with the change to the fighters. Which in all honesty, they should still be alright there, to an extent. I just can't keep spamming out fighters, mind you, but at the same time, I have a lot more longevity now, which I think ultimately serves them better, at least in a long-term fight. Now, let's see, yeah, extra speed, and what was the other upgrade I wanted? Just emission dissipators, I think. But that was fun with Eldari. Let's try and mix up and try and get used to the new changes, or at least be forced to get used to the new change to the fighters. Since for Tau particularly, since they rely a lot on their fighters, this could be an amazing change for them if used properly. It could be. They're going to be a lot slower to do damage with their fighters and bombers, simply because they have to wait for them to return or get destroyed. Which a lot of players are probably just going to let them die, since that would technically be faster to get your charge back up. Probably not the smartest choice, but I can see that happening. Now, what do we have for a match? What do we have for an opponent? Okay, so Commandos, Orcs, which shouldn't be terrible. I have lots of frigates to spot them ahead of time. I could launch a couple of fighters to spot them too. Just gotta see what kind of gas clouds they have to work with, or asteroid belts even. But I'm suspecting commando upgrade, so everything's likely to be stealthed. But if I can focus fire and damage them really damn well, is there a better upgrade or skill I can use? Since once they get in close, I'm assuming I'm not going to get multiple charges of my repair drones. Disruption bomb's almost pointless due to 200 shields on almost everything. Stasis bomb's the only thing I could think of as far as keeping distance. Otherwise, where do I expect them to deploy? Probably just at least some ship grabbing this point here and then moving to the middle. So I want to be ready for that. It's a big question if I want to spread or not. Probably not, since I could just outrun the orcs really well with a stasis bomb, while launching a bunch of fighters and bombers at them, ideally. Although, I do want to grab objectives too, just in case, to have something going for me if I'm going to be running. I'm going to leave the heroes in the middle there, for now, and use them as a wall to kind of block the orcs if they go after my explorers. And then we'll see how it plays out from there. Alright, opponent's ready, let's do this. Damn it! What the hell prompted that to crash, I wonder? I wonder what the hell caused that. Was it applying all the upgrades? The only thing I could think of that would actually crash that. But you don't really see the effects of the upgrades until after the deployment with this new change. So I think it had something to do with that. Well, so much for fighting orcs. We might get a rematch though. If I'm quick about it. Just give it a second, everyone. The solid state drive needs to do its work. Now let's try it again, shall we? Oh, the entire server went down. The entire server crashed. Our orc opponent was so overpowered he killed the server. Which means we're not... Unless they come back up quickly. Oh, there they are. Nobody panic. Especially me. We are going to have ourselves some more matches. I was worried I was going to have to improv something. Or improvise something, which probably would be more of a QA kind of thing. It would work well there in that case. But since that likely booted out everyone, it might be a moment before they get back on. Oh, never mind, I take that back. Big question though. Is it our orky friend or not? What does the survey say? It's just a mix of emotions there on the Twitch stream. Oh, hey there, Madoki. You planned this, didn't you? With your Mechanicus Marine. Let's see if you could dodge some Seeker missiles then. It shouldn't be too difficult in theory, it's just a question if my fighters are going to do a good job denying you from denying the point defense from shooting down my Seeker missiles. Otherwise, realistically, what should I target for the Seeker missiles? Probably the flagship if there's or at least the battleship. Since it has no high energy turn, it doesn't really have an easy way to dodge. So that's going to be my sole focus. Although if it has micro warp jump, then I'm going to have to be careful about overcommitting. Since I want to give Madoki the benefit of the doubt that the cruisers can dodge them really damn well. At least they have that potential to easily do it. Unless I stagger Seeker missiles. Now, what do I expect to come up against? Well, normally, like I said before, it's going to be normally 5 cruisers. Battleships can be really potent with the ramming spur, which is kind of undervalued, but can be so damn effective if used properly. I might as well let them know there, and so that way it can get metagamed. Nah, could be all battleships. If they're all battleships, then maybe I can murder them. They can't dodge.
Over shall
All I know is there are 4 ships. That could mean anything.
Corel, ready. For Onva, it will be so.
Yeah. Okay, we got Defiance there. Oh, is Madoke using my fleet? Is that what's going on here?
At your orders, Koro.
I just want to identify the fleet.
Barracuda shoals
We'll
launched.
worry about secret missiles later. Actually, I take that back. Let's reveal everything and launch bombers.
Shoals launched.
Although,
Bombing run underway.
since now, with the new mechanic, I can recall these fighters.
Gravitic drive engaged.
Which maybe is a terrible idea since I'm locking a second wave of fighters really quickly.
We serve the Kovatra.
So maybe I overcommitted a tiny bit since I would at least want one fighter squadron for seeker missiles.
Aircast ready for orders.
But this is probably my... well, technically I already did a single match with Merchant Fleet before. With the fighter change. But I am interested to figure out and see, get a good feel for it. I probably should have realistically had the battleship over here to grab the objective. Probably would have been smarter. Although I'm going to see what I need to see with these fighters anyway. Just gotta remember, what was the first fighter squadron I launched, so this is going to be important to learn individual which fighter squadrons link to which cruiser.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So that way I don't lose them, ideally.
You have seized a strategic area.
So, I have seeker missiles. I'm just wondering if I can launch the fighters in time.
Identified an enemy target.
I just want to wait for the bombers and then recall them, is what I want to do.
Honor the teachings
So there's
of
2
Yara.
Nova cannons there. I'm probably fixating a little bit too much, mind you, and that was probably the reason why. Recall the fighters.
Aircast ready for orders.
I like the potential here already. Mind you, there's a ridiculous amount of downtime waiting for these to come back,
At your orders, Koro.
but I think you can see the value here for long-term battles. Because I'm gonna keep my fighter charges as a result of this. I'm liking it already, but it may be too slow with that said.
For Onva, it will be so.
Which makes me want to experiment more with the explorers with the seeker missiles maybe,
Seized a strategic area.
to help get a little more power in. Nope, I lost one of my bombers, didn't I? No, actually I didn't.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Now, fire seeker missiles. I wasn't paying attention again. Gonna be my undoing, but I have shields for that too.
For Anvar, it will be so.
I have shields to weather this, but
Maneuvering thrusters
my
engaged.
Mechanicus friend is a little more equipped for this.
Core L ready. Bombing run underway.
Seeker missiles are gonna
Drones
hit that
have
one.
identified an enemy
Its
target.
engine's permanently gone. Fighters are doing their thing.
Corel, ready.
Again, it's a question of if maybe it's too slow.
Ready for orders.
I know I'm not doing the best job of managing this, but I'm seriously curious about how effective this technically is, more so than actually playing the objective.
At your orders, Core.
And actually I have, to the point I'm forgetting my valuable abilities.
Structural integrity compromised.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
How may I serve the Tauva?
Nope,
Honor the teachings of
ramming
Yara.
everything.
By my sept, we shall attack.
So how many fighters do I have? I have all 3
Gravitic
charges.
drive engaged. We serve the Kovat. The ethereals guide us.
Alright. Do I have anything else? I have experimental railgun. I keep forgetting about that little weapon. And I didn't hit any of my ships as a bonus.
patient hunter gets the prey.
One Nova can gone. That's almost dead. I have fighters currently tanking. There, bombers did their damage.
Ready for orders.
The patient hunter gets the prey.
Mind you,
Ready for orders.
my opponent's not using the broadside weapons, so this is just turning into a little bit of a silly match, and I will admit I probably would lose this in a lot of other circumstances.
Alva shall prosper.
But can I start killing and make it stick?
Serve the Taubar.
I need seeker missile shots, damn it. Start actually killing. I'm playing with my food a little bit too much in excitement. So much so I wasted a seeker missile charge hitting my own explorer.
Honor the teachings of Yola.
Kor-El ready. We serve the Kovadra.
So my cruisers have all their fighter charges, almost. Except for this one here, apparently.
The Ethereals has been lost.
The enemy has accumulated.
Do I have another railgun shot? I do. Can we finish off this cruiser?
Taubar shall prosper.
You're not the flagship for one. That's my first mistake.
At your orders, Kor. To spread the greater good.
Finish it.
We serve the Kohat.
And meanwhile, oh god.
Aircraft ready for orders. The patient hunter gets the prey.
Now ram this thing and kill it.
The Ethereals guide us.
There, that's 2 down.
Closing position.
Now, I don't have the best of boarding chance, mind you, so... Now, gotta keep track of what has fighters and what doesn't. I gotta make sure you launch your fighters. And you're about to panic, too.
For Armada, it will be so. The patient hunter.
I have fission, thankfully. A little bit, briefly. Frigates.
Serve the Taubar.
Fire seeker missiles. Oh, Nova cans are still coming. Now, it's a big question. How many seeker missiles do I have left? One more charge. They might as well fire before you eventually die.
Crisis teams boarding enemy ship.
Now, where's my flagship? Right here. I think let's get back to the objective now. I think I've seen all I needed to. And right now, this final cruiser is about to die. I should have done an encouraging speech, mind you, but
Accumulated 25% of strategic.
I like the potential. Big problem is it may be way too slow for against a lot of fleets.
Alva shall prosper.
Waiting for that, unless I kill their point defense.
Repair drones activated.
As the Ethereals wish.
How many bombers do I have left? Oh, you're about to dock, so that'll fix some of my problem there.
The Taubar shall prosper.
Come on, launch me them bombers.
Bombing run underway.
And I have 83 armor, you don't, so I think this is in my favor.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points.
And
You have
Defiance
seized
is
a
about to die.
strategic area.
Closing position. Chancellor, triumph for the set.
Now, what's left? Just hit the flagship.
Engaged.
Kill off the frigate,
Fire warriors.
and I have 2 more charges, or at least 1 more now.
Aircast ready for orders.
I really love the potential, though.
Ready for orders.
Although, I'm at risk of losing my ships. Hell, I'm losing my ships now due to them breaking.
Kor-El ready.
And I'm gonna get hit by a lot of long-range fire without a frigate of some kind, so let's play it seriously. Oh
We
god,
serve the Kohat.
I'm not gonna be able to recall that in time.
The Ethereals guide us.
No, stop mutinying.
Kovadra.
You have seized a strategic area.
Get in there, start revealing so maybe I can kill off this flagship.
The patient hunter gets the prey.
I know where it's at. I just got
You have
to
accumulated
deal with it now.
50% of strategic points.
And I have no secret missiles left, but I still have fighters, which is pretty big.
You have seized a strategic area.
Honor the teachings of Viola.
Actually, you're gonna just be group 1. Let's see. My fighters have locked, that's why. If only I had the foresight to keep that in mind.
To spread the greater good.
But, wow, oh wow, I didn't realize the point advantage there.
At your orders, Koro.
With me having 4 objectives, it's not a big deal.
Ready.
Let me actually kill off the point defense, though. I'm gonna prime this for a full-on death, or was it killing blow?
Serve the Kovatra.
Kill the point defense and then just launch nothing but bombers afterwards.
For Anvar, it will be so.
There.
Aircast ready for orders. As the ethereals wish.
Come on. Dang it, I can't repair that, so that frigate's gone.
The enemy has accumulated 75% of
Fighters are
strategic
gonna do their
points.
thing, they're gonna distract, I just don't... Until I recall, they're not gonna be able to do much. Let me at least neutralize this
Enemy
point.
is
Hey,
seizing one of your strategic areas.
you're not allowed to steal this point, even though it's still gonna take an eternity before you do that.
Maneuvering thrusters engaged.
Hell, I can almost just ram this thing with my A3 armor and be really good at killing it off.
Door sealed.
Which I probably should do.
Spread the greater good.
Morale ready.
11 point defense, so I'll wait till that's completely gone, but the cruiser at least can launch its bombers. This is just, watch us basically just try and slap each other to death almost. Although, Dark Mechanicus has a really good amount of firepower still, so...
How may I serve the Tauva?
In fact, I'm at risk of losing this cruiser just due to the amount of ramming damage I'm doing to it.
How may I serve the Tauva? Honor the
5 point defense, so I think I can afford launching a full bomber squadron now to finish this off.
system.
Because now I'm kind of stuck on the flagship.
The Kovatra.
One of ours has been lost.
To spread the
Alright,
greater
bombers,
good.
do your thing. You can easily deal with 7 point defense.
Drive
Hell,
to
I think I
maximum.
want to ram you. Help seal the deal some, although it is outrunning me.
Drive engaged. Aircast ready for orders.
A bit of a weird exchange,
You have
since
seized a
the
strategic
merchant
area.
fleet's main weapons is to do its bombers and seeker missiles. Oh, and I let the Vanguard die. Silly me. Oh, and you're about to break right now.
As
One more time, hell, this might even burn to death. Yeah, that's just gonna burn to death. I can leave it be.
the ethereals guide us.
You have accumulated
I feel a little bit guilty
75%
because it
of
almost feels like I was
strategic
playing with my
points.
food a little bit, but in truth, I want to experiment and get a feel for these, because
The
look,
enemy is
I still have
seizing
3
one of your
fighter squadrons on this dang
strategic
thing. Normally, all my fighter squads would be dead at this point, unless I played them really passively,
Anvar, it will be so.
so I like that change. Yep, and I have the lead
You
now.
are close to victory by strategic points.
So this is over.
Restore the earth.
It's again, like I said, a really slow type of fleet unless I have a lot of secret missiles. Which, in all honesty, I think a lot of that can be rectified if I switch out these explorers,
The
maybe
enemy is
for
close to
the
victory by
seeker missile
strategic
variant.
points.
I may actually play with that more.
Reserve the
A lot
Kovatra.
more burst damage, a lot more power,
Ethereals guide us.
and I don't think the 4 fighter squadrons are as important anymore.
Aircast ready for orders.
Sort of. Unless I really want to kill point defense, that might be the exception. They have the longevity to kind of do that.
Gravitic drive engaged.
So that's something I'm going to experiment with for maybe my next stream.
The Tauva
I don't
shall
think I want to
prosper.
play with it tonight though. But I like what I've learned
As
here.
the
I like what I'm
ethereals
seeing.
wish.
It's going to be fun having control of these fighters,
Viola.
even if it's just limited control. I'm trying to think what else to say on the matter. I like the potential. That's all there is to say. Now it's 9:30. I think I'm going to do one more match. What do I play as, though? I've been wanting to play Tyranid, so I think we dive back into good old, what is it, Strangled Tentacles. Go back to eating crew a little bit. Try to, anyway. Since it's been forever, which means it's going to go badly, isn't it? Since I still have yet to figure out how to best want to set these in groups. So, that's going to be something that's not going to be well optimized, but spore fields are important. Psychic Scream is good for the morale damage because it helps kill the crew. And there we go, I think that's everything. Although let me get back to my proper color. Sadly, there's no Stimpy in this fleet. A Demiurge fleet? It's a really simple fleet. I don't know if I could probably do a fleet, but probably not tonight, though. Yeah, the mine lasers are always fun to cut off ships. It can be awkward, though, when you don't have an asteroid belt to charge said cutting beam, though. But yeah, it can be fun if an opponent cannot keep you at arm's length, or at least not have an easy way to dodge your cutting laser when you do activate it. But I've been neglecting my tentacle fleet, or my, Strangled Tentacle fleet for too long. I want to play it more. Thankfully, it's no longer a carrier fleet, since they nerfed the price of the launch bays, which is kind of a sad thing still. Since I don't think my bioplasma on the broadsides are even contribute with the fleet any. Maybe that's something I'll do when I focus on Tau Protector, though. Whole video dedicated to all Demiurge just cutting things in half. Repeatedly. Cut them into nice bite-sized pieces. Mile-long pieces. Oh, well, I can kill the crew really well if I get the jump on them. The big thing, if it's 5 cruisers, they should not have a frigate of any kind. So I have the convenience of basically getting the jump on them, I want to argue. Sadly, my Krakens are really bad. They're gonna die really quick, rather. So how do I want to group this up again? You're group 1. Group 2. Group 3, and I gotta remember I have a drone here, do I? Do I have a drone? No, they're all vanguards. In all honesty, the flagship should be group 1, but I'm willing to fix that. And I gotta keep in mind that my opponent's gonna hear my rush if they're looking at where I'm at when I activate it. Kind of like with the Wraithbone shift. It seems a little inconsistent, mind you. It seems like only the Hive ships maybe give off an audio cue. So sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't, but they come in at about the same time, if I'm remembering correctly. And what is this? This looks like only 4 ships, so there's probably a Phoenix then. And there's a lot of gas clouds for me to utilize too. But spore fields are important. And I think I want to reveal what they are too. The important thing is to not get caught off guard when my fleets are separated. That's just asking for a battle cruiser to die immediately. So in all honesty, I should change my arc a tiny bit and let them have these 2 objectives for now. It kind of gives away where my cruisers are. Kind of.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
If my opponent's smart, they'll know if this is a battle cruiser or a battleship.
You have seized a strategic
So let's at least
area.
reveal these, see what we're up against. Okay, so there is a Phoenix.
You have seized a strategic area. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Alright, so I'm revealed. They didn't reveal everything yet, but it could still go badly. Some. I'll have a spore field to help. I have a spore field here even. I can use this to my advantage really well too. Can I get at least 2 boring on that thing? Can I get 2 more? Because I'm greedy like that. Alright. So that's a drifting Hulk. That's pretty much dead. Yep, just shoot everything on these ships. On the frigates. It's a little unfortunate, but I'll happily take it. Why are you slowed down? Oh, is that because you were a drone and I wasn't aware of that? Crew damage is really good here. More crew damage is warranted though. And I have to remember I also have the rush ability too, or the adrenal glands. I shouldn't let this thing get isolated so easily, but it did mess up the boarding some. Do I have a spore field? No, I don't. But I do have adrenal glands to help rush forward some. And cold arms will slow that down some. Just get to going. I thought I told you to rush, you're not rushing. Not quite close enough, but... Oh, I'm gonna ram myself, aren't I? I have to remember I can also use the spore fields to slow them down some. Alright, hit it. Let's see. Can I make this work? Do enough boring damage to these things. Oh, you turned my Kraken around, you jerk. That wasn't very nice. Now, I have no tentacle here, alas, so that's probably going to rush and find some other spot to be. The crew is all sorts of screwed, though. Can I capitalize on that?
Accumulated 25% of strategic points.
I gotta be quick if I want to make this work. Because torpedoes are going to kill my ships really quickly here. Dang it, you're going to kill the flagship because of the leftover torpedoes. I still... Okay, crew is pretty much dead on almost everything but this one here. Which thankfully we can alleviate. And there is... Oh no, I killed the frigate, never mind. So I think this is a victory. Just gotta deal with this last one, which has a bunch of boring damage on it. Oh, I ran myself because I never gave it a proper direction. You may feel cocky, but actually I don't know. Did they seriously make it so my battle cruisers no longer have the synaptic link? I could actually lose because of that. I need to be very mindful of that. But I can board you, kill you off. And see about rushing and killing off the other one. And actually, let me get my adrenal glands off cooldown since this one's likely to self-destruct. I'm watching my morale, although I don't think we're going to know anytime soon here. Just one crew left. This will be easy pickings, especially when they don't see it coming.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Well, the shield soaked the damage nicely. Maybe that was a bit of an overreaction, but this is game. It may not have been cutting them in half with lasers, but we did shoot a tentacle beam at them, right? And we killed them from the inside out. Hopefully that was close enough for you. It was good to eat everything again, without relying on the fighters so much. Sadly, I don't think my boarding parties did anything, but that was mainly because I never bothered to launch any fighters to soak the point defense fire. So that was probably my own damn fault. It was still fun nonetheless. It was kind of simplistic, since my opponent kind of flew into my waiting arms, my waiting tentacles as it were. Tasty, tasty Eldar. You think with how brilliant they are, you think they'd be able to manage fighting an alien race that comes from outside the galaxy, but no. Clearly their knowledge is only restricted to fighting Imperium and everything like that. They don't know how to deal with extraterrestrial beings, I guess, from outside the galaxy. Poor Eldar. Nonetheless, that was fun. I miss my Nami fleet. I am actually enjoying the power asset some, but who knows how much of that is just luck. Since it is, again, kind of a slow fleet unless I get a lot of good critical hits early on. Just reading chat there. Gives it that special something, yep. Extra little bit of spice there when you're eating a dying race. It's nice and tasty. I don't know if they supplement very well though, considering they are very frail. Don't probably have a lot of nutrients to them. And they're not very abundant, but man, are they nice and spicy. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Sadly, for those who are just jumping in now, I think I'm calling it a night here. I had a bit of fun though. A little bit rough with some of the Eldar matches and even my Shroud fleet, but hey. I'm still hoping maybe things will get tweaked back or at least toned back in a later patch. Since I still believe that light cruisers are not very practical, at least for what they used to do, which is harassing and forcing the enemy fleet to kind of spread out. But apparently, with cruisers, like with when I played Azure Yoni, that's not a big deal. At least in that front. But anyways, have a good night everyone. Expect more videos soon. Hopefully I can get some more refinement in with the Adeptus Mechanicus with that said.